Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Tens of thousands of people have taken to the streets of several Brazilian cities for the second night of largely peaceful protest over poor public services, high prices and corruption.
The News First International Desk has been closely monitoring the situation and will have the latest on this story.
But before that, let's start off tonight's bulletin with a look at the headlines.
Elections for 3 provincial councils, including the Northern Provincial Council, to be held in September. Indian Premier expresses his dismay over reports suggesting that the government of Sri Lanka plans to dilute certain key provisions of the 13th Amendment. And the head of the Faculty of Law at the Open University attacked with a sharp weapon by a student.
And now the stories in detail. 3 people were killed today when the bus they were travelling in met with an accident in Sitaile Nuwara. 85 people were injured in the accident.
A senior police officer in charge of the area said that the injured were admitted to the Nuwara General Hospital. Hospital Director Dr. Arunaja Sekar said that 5 of the injured were in critical condition. He added that one of the injured is being treated in the hospital's intensive care unit. Most of those injured in the accident were school students from Pasara who were on an educational excursion.
A decision has been reached regarding the holding of elections for 3 provincial councils, including the Northern Provincial Council, following a meeting of the leaders of constituent parties of the United People's Freedom Alliance. Speaking at a media briefing convened today, the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Minister Maithripala Sirisena, explained further.
බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ලබන මාසයේ පමණ මැතිවරණ කොමසාරිස්තුමාගෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කිරීමට රජයේ විදියට
We hope to make a request from the Elections Commissioner around next month as the government to hold an election. There is a probability that nominations will be called for next month for the northern, northwestern and central provinces. Normally, in keeping with election timetables and the rules and regulations, the election date could be set for mid-September. This decision is made by the Elections Commissioner. We have appointed the Nominations Board. After the 1st of July, the Nominations Board will meet and we will begin the task of selecting our candidates.
නාම යෝජනා මණ්ඩලයේ මේ වෙනිට පත් කරලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ජූලි 1 වෙනිදාන් පසුව අපි නාම යෝජනා මණ්ඩලයේ රැස් වෙලා අපේක්ෂකයින් තීරීමේ කටයුතු කරනවා.
We passed a special provisions bill on the registration of voters in Parliament. Accordingly, people who are displaced from the north will be able to exercise their franchise. The Elections Commissioner has prepared the necessary guidelines and programs for this.
ඡන්දය පාවිච්චි කිරීමේ අවස්ථාව සලසා දීලා තමයි අපි මේ මැතිවරණය පවත්වන්නේ. මැතිවරණ කොමසාරිස්තුමා ඒ පිළිබඳ අවශ්‍ය නිර්ණායකයන් හා වැඩපිළිවෙල සකස් කරලා තියෙනවා.
On tonight's Words of Wisdom, we take a look at the words of the late Martin Luther King Jr.
We must live together as brothers or perish together as fools. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., born 1929, assassinated in 1968.
A student of the Open University who assaulted the head of the Faculty of Law at the university has been arrested by the police. The head of the Faculty of Law, who was injured in the assault, has been admitted to the National Hospital in Colombo, while the student who had consumed some type of pills following the incident has been admitted to the Colombo South Teaching Hospital.
This footage was captured at the Open University of Sri Lanka campus in Navalu this afternoon. The victim of this assault was the head of the law faculty at the Open University, Yashodhara Kadrigamarthambi. The student who had visited her at about 1 p.m. this afternoon had submitted a project report related to a subject. The police said that Yashodhara Kadrigamarthambi had refused to accept the project report as it had been submitted after the deadline. The police suspect that the student, who may have been angered by this, had proceeded to attack the victim with a sharp weapon. Yashodhara Kadrigamarthambi was admitted to the National Hospital in Colombo following the incident. We cannot say whether the injuries are serious or not. We have to open the wound first. Only then we can say for sure. The suspect was taken away from the Open University later this evening under police protection. He is being treated at the Colombo South Teaching Hospital at present under police custody. The suspect has been identified as a doctor residing in Jaffna. He was reading for a law degree from the Open University of Sri Lanka.
In a startling revelation, the Ministry of Health notes that 500 dengue patients are reported per week in Sri Lanka. Director of the Epidemiology Unit at the Ministry, Dr. Phaba Paliyawatna, says that 50% of these cases are reported from the Colombo district. A News First crew visited Colombo and its suburbs today to investigate the causes for this high rate of infection. We embarked on this journey looking for places which have escaped attention at a time when strict attention should be paid to dengue breeding grounds.
This nursery of mosquito larvae about 30 meters down Maitland Crescent in Colombo 7 was captured by our camera this morning. There is a manhole here. We have asked them to clean it out and we have asked them to empty it, but they do not do so. They take money from us. If they can arrest us, produce us in court and impose a fine when they see mosquitoes in our homes, then why can't they do anything about this, which is right in front of their eyes? They came to our home last week and checked for dengue breeding sites. They found some water and asked us to come to court. They imposed a fine of 2,500 rupees and kept my wife in the dock for 6 hours. We have called them on numerous occasions, but they have not come here. We captured footage of this site at about 10:30 this morning. It was reported to us later that the site had been suddenly cleaned this afternoon. Of dengue have been reported thus far this year. 3,894 dengue patients have been reported from the Colombo district. 1,390 cases have been reported from within the Colombo municipal limits. They demolished and reconstructed it. It has not been cleaned in 6 months, so obviously water fills up. The women at home cannot lift these slabs. We need 4 strong men to lift it. These have not been made to any proper procedure. The drains are filled with waste. This is where the mosquitoes come from. There is no one to complain to. The people who did this are missing. They have taken the money and have gone. We also witnessed a number of locations outside the city which are conducive to mosquito breeding. Meanwhile, convening a media briefing today, the All Ireland Health Services Union charged that the local government institutions have turned the dengue menace into a revenue stream. We can clearly state that they have let go of the campaign to suppress the spread of dengue. Instead, they are fining the people on a daily basis. Instead of saving the people from dengue, they have turned this into a scheme to make money off the people. Local government institutions make money off the people on 2 occasions. One is that they charge local government taxes. They are definitely bound to ensure the health of the people using paying these taxes, but instead local government institutions are intervening to have houses inspected and are charging fines from the people once again.
හැබැයි ඒ වෙනුවට අද පළාත් පාලන ආයතන මැදිහත් වෙලා ඒ ප්‍රදේශවල තියෙන ගෙවල් පරීක්ෂාවට ලක් කළා නැවත වතාවක් දඩ ගැසීම සඳහා නියෝග නිකුත් කරනවා.
Reports of improper waste disposal in several parts of the island. Improper waste disposal by the Suryapeva Pradesh Sabha. Improper waste disposal by the Kandy Municipal Council. Improper waste disposal by the Jaala Pradesh Sabha. An ideal example. News First reports on the improper waste disposal system used by the Wattala Mabola Urban Council. Why are local government institutions not taking any concrete steps to formulate an effective waste disposal system?
Welcome back to the news. News First came across a group of villagers who for several months have found it difficult to fulfill their transportation needs. News First correspondent Rohana Samaravira visited this village to find out more.
The village of Tunhiriawa is located on the banks of this canal which carries water from the Udawalawe reservoir to Suryapeva. An iron bridge which was constructed in the area in the 1980s has been in a dilapidated condition for the past 6 months. Therefore, villagers are forced to use this makeshift bridge for their transportation needs. The villagers residing on the banks of the canal have no choice but to use this bridge to go to school or the temple. Even the farmers have to cross over to the other side to obtain fertilizer and farming equipment. Hence, a bridge is essential. Hundreds of children have to walk to school when there are no buses. Mothers have to carry their children and walk over this bridge. Even those working in the Mahawali office use this bridge. Villagers have to travel a distance of 3 kilometers on an alternative route in the absence of a bridge across the canal.
4 persons who were arrested yesterday for allegedly chopping wood at the Chunakadu Reserve were remanded until the 3rd of July after being produced before the Trincomalee Magistrates Court today.
Suspects who were arrested with the assistance of the police special task force and the wood-laden carts that were seized were handed over to the police last night by wildlife officers. Residents of Kenya and Trincomalee staged a demonstration in the Kutarachi area against the arrest of the suspects. The police STF, which said that the protesters had pelted stones at them, said that they fired tear gas in return to disperse the protesters. 3 police officers sustained minor injuries in the incident.